All right.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the Think Show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find their way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous One. It's April Fool. Getting out of the winter, we're going into the springtime. Seasons are changing. There's going to be tornadoes. There's going to be all kind of funky weather because the season's changing. Be prepared for that, and you can work your way through it. Stars, what's going on, brother, sister? I don't know, whoever you are. Thank you for joining us. We're going to spread some information that it should be, you don't have to take it, but it's things that are going on in the world that we should be aware of. We just can't not know nothing and didn't know stuff was coming. Some people are connected to this planet. Some people see certain things a certain way. Some of us don't. Some of us only seen what we're shown. If we see it on TV, that's real. It's not. It's not. That's why you have to connect yourself to this planet. You are part of this earth. You are on the time clock of the earth, if there was a clock. But you're riding on this earth. If you're taking instructions from something else, things can go bad for you. The brother I'm about to introduce, he's been on a few times. And why this brother is important because he looks at a world, he looks at the world not being in the world. He's kind of separated from the world, which as you will see, you get a better view of what's going on. And he's here to share that with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Bach.
Ah, hey, salutations, greetings, everyone. How you guys doing? Wonderful.
Cool, man. And thank you for being on, man. When you're out there on the west side, I'm talking about California, Arizona, Nevada, and the place where you are now, New Mexico, there's a lot of things that a lot of people all over the country don't get because they're comfortable with being at home.
Right.
What's going on?
Absolutely.
What's going on, man?
Well, I think all of us we're aware of all these changes, though as you were alluding to earlier. As seasons are changing, and no matter where you are, no matter what side of the country, even what side of the world you are, things are changing. I'll elaborate a little bit. At the moment, I'm in New Mexico. I was trying to move here a few years back, but things didn't work out. But it's really interesting, me being from Southern California, the LA area. And when you go to other places, you kind of start seeing certain similarities, but differences. But case in point, I'll give you an example. Whether you're in New York, Chicago, Miami, Houston, they have this climate, this what they call problem reaction solution. What I mean is you see how the wicked are being allowed to just do whatever they want, whether they're bringing so-called migrants or so-called illegal immigrants or what I call, sanctioned invaders, military age men coming here. They're being allowed to do whatever they want practically, rob, rape, kill, plunder, getting free debit cards, getting free rent, getting free all kinds of stuff, but at the same time, you or I? Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Matter of fact, you can't even defend yourself if one of them attacks you or tries to kill you, or worse. In fact, you try to do that, they'll try to lock you up and put a case on you. So I'm bringing this up because going to different places, you see especially a lot of these big cities or even smaller towns with this going into stores and stealing stuff, and just almost like it's being allowed, it's being permitted, and I'll give you an example. For example, I'm in New Mexico at the moment, and I noticed that there was such a almost a paramilitary style security force at a local Walmart. I mean, it really kind of struck a nerve with me because it's like, okay, they create this environment where it's like they create the problem. They allow people to come rob, steal, and do that and act like there's nothing they can do about it. Oh, you want to go report to the cops? No, go online. No, we don't even want you walking in the police station. Just go online. You see what I mean? They don't even want to deal with you. Okay. I mean, this is since this pandemic so-called scamdemic era, they use that as their excuse to hide from you. Oh, due to the lockdowns or due to the pandemic, we can't come to the window. We can't even come to the door. We don't even want to see you. You gotta go online, stay away from us. So they got people conditioned to where we can't even have any contact. So here we are over 4 years later, and now they're using that as an excuse to take away everybody's jobs, to create this so-called AI with these robots. And, you know, they act like, oh, nobody wants to work. But if you want to work, you have to do all these things. Oh, you got to show that you've been jabbed and boosted and so forth. You got to show that you willing to do all these other things. And if you're not, then you must not want to work. You see, they create the problem reaction solution. Same thing with the stealing and the robbing. So what happens is eventually people like they got to do something about it. So what they'll do is, you know, we're in April now. So I don't know if people have heard these rumors about the solar eclipse coming up April 8th, and it forms an X around, was it like 8 cities in different states, all named Nineveh, the biblical reference. That's neither here nor there. The point is, whatever happens April 8th or not, whether it's the New Madrid fault going off and bringing all kinds of havoc and chaos or what, it doesn't matter. The point is, they're creating a lot of these chaotic situations so they can do what they wanted to do. Okay. One of the things they want to do is they want to make sure everybody's broke, poor, and everything, and act as if, oh, well, we got to wait for Trump to save us. So we got to wait for, this reevaluation and this reset or whatever they want to call this crap. Bottom line is, they're out of time. And since they're out of time, they're going to try to make it uncomfortable for everybody else. So they want to distract you with what's going on with P. Diddy and everything else. Like that's news. Anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear, he's been doing that for decades. Why is that news now? Come on. I mean, I was born at night, but it wasn't last night, but they got to have distractions. You got to talk about P. Diddy. You got to talk about this. You got to talk about that. But they don't want to talk about, what they want to try to spring on you, oh, they might have a blackout. I mean, this thing that happened in Maryland with the ship accidentally crashing into a bridge and knocking it off. Stop it. This is by design. They're trying to destroy this place. And don't get me wrong, they got some, reaping what they got to sow. But the point is, people are just oblivious and they're not aware of how close things are as far as flipping on their ear. But I digress. Go ahead.
No, just listening to what you're saying, and I'm seeing, with what you're saying, one of the main things that I see that really nobody is paying attention to is the food.
Thank you.
A young lady told me the other day, and I was like, damn, you're right. And this sister was about 15 years old. She said she had a dream about this witch going around sprinkling crystals all over everything.
Mm.
And I'm like, what do you mean crystals? She said, that's all I can think of is crystals. And I was like, could it be glass? Shreds of glass. I don't know what she was alluding to, but I'm thinking crystals, glass. What is all this food made out of? What is all this artificial flavored? What is this stuff? And I don't think the masses, well, I'm pretty sure, don't even really think about that.
No. In fact, I'm glad you brought that testimony, if you will, about the dream, the vision that she had, because that could be interpreted many ways. In fact,
Right.
that crystal could be alluding to nanotechnology. They're putting stuff in the
Right.
food. You look at nowadays, they even say we don't even have to tell you what's in the ingredients anymore. We don't have
Right.
to tell you that it's got genetically modified or it's got bioengineered stuff in there. We don't have to tell you it's got nanites or nanoparticles in there. We don't have to tell you we've put the same stuff we put in that demon semen jab shot. We put that in the food too. We don't have to tell you it's got graphene oxide, self-assembling particles in there. We don't have to tell you anything. You just eat it. That's how they're rolling.
Yeah.
That's how these cockroaches are rolling. These cockroaches know that they're about to get squashed. Okay, they already know it. That's why at this point they don't even matter. They really don't. You know. Uh, so with you alluded to what she was saying about the crystalline. They have these. I've heard that they have these. You know, um, Not just self-assembly particles, but there's these. Like with chips, computer chips. They I think if I'm not mistaken, they use some type of silicone. It's almost like a crystalline type substance, which is actually used in chips and everything. And they
Right.
want people to be cyborgs. They want to put this stuff into food. You know, it's, these demons are just something else. But the thing is, you know, there's a lot of other positive things that we can do. One thing that I actually forgot about is there's something called grounding. And for those who've never heard of grounding, it's not just your child being on punishment.
Mm.
Not just that. There's another thing where you can actually, if you take off your socks and shoes and you stand on the grass or on on actual earth and dirt, uh, it actually positively charges your body, and even supposedly, purportedly, your blood cells and the red blood cells actually. Some people have a lot of issues with clumping and so forth. It actually keeps them flowing. So there's certain things that we can do to kind of help mitigate or minimize a lot of this toxic crap that they're trying to kill everybody else off with, because they're already dead. They're just trying to
Right.
drag everybody else down with them. I mean, you see these movies, all these movies coming out now. Everything's demonic. Everything's got a demonic thing to it. I don't care if it's a new Ghostbusters movie. Even that's got demonic stuff in there. I mean, so they're just telling their truth. But like I said, you know, people have to be aware. We have to be aware of everything in the so-called food. Uh, you know, I mean, they're spraying stuff in the air. They're going to do what they do, and as long as we do what we have to do, uh, we have a chance. We have a great chance actually, because most people are oblivious and don't care. They don't want to know, you know, and it's going to be to their detriment, unfortunately, because we don't know what can happen this coming month or this coming year. We have an idea, but we don't. No one knows the time of the hour.
Stars asks, what you think of the Civil War movie that's coming out?
Uh, I'm glad you brought that up. Fantastic. They have. We've heard this term called predictive programming, which basically means they want to tell you what they're planning on doing before they do it. I mean, that's not the first Civil War reference. You've got the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Captain America Civil War. They keep talking all that Civil War. This whole Republican Democrat stuff. Like Biden and Trump are adversaries, white hat, black hats. They're all on the same team. Okay, they're all on the same team. You want to still believe in that Q or whatever? That's your prerogative. Believe in the Tooth Fairy? Go ahead, but they're still in the same team. Okay. I mean, the bottom line is this so-called Civil War. Who's the Civil War against? That's the first thing. Okay. I mean, is the Civil War against the so-called federal government against the so-called people? Who's the Civil War against?
Right.
Republicans and Democrats? No. Here's what the Civil War is. The Civil War is all these so-called world governments are all in it together against me and you. Okay, people that are a special people. Okay, the people that are listening to this podcast, people listening to our voices. Okay, you have a chosen destiny. All right, you are chosen. You're aware. You're in the right place at the right time. Okay, they're after you because they're envious and jealous. Just like even in the biblical references when they talk about how what the Satan and dragging down 1/3 of the angels and that kind of thing. That's how they are. They're out of here. They're already done. Their goose is cooked, and they want to try to drag you down with them. Okay, So this whole Civil War thing is just propaganda to get you to be scared and in fear of them. Look, they're dead already, all right? They're trying to make everybody else dead. They're already dead. They're gone. I mean, most of these people are not even human anyway. We don't know if they're robot toys. We don't know if they're clones. We don't know. And they do the gender inversion. I don't know if you guys know about that, where people you think are men are not, and the people you think are women are not. I don't.
Speak on that for a minute, because I really don't think I know people that would scratch your eyeballs out if you told them this person was a man and it's a woman.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. I mean, I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried. This whole gender inversion thing apparently is some type of uh, satanic type of ritual where they do it. Even purportedly, allegedly, even Beyonce, word of mouth, supposedly a boy anyway. Didn't she make a song a long time ago? If I was a boy, I believe she did. He or she did. I mean, there was the baby bump that was fake. She had the fake pregnancy. There was that. Uh, there's a lot of stuff that's out there. I mean, I'm not making this up. Hey,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean, this kind of thing is out there. And like you say, so many people are influenced by this type of garbage. So that's what
right.
gets me. How really you be influenced by this garbage? How
It
is
is.
that possible?
And again, it's just, what it is too. A lot of people, it's painful for people to look in the mirror and just see what they see in that reflection. It's painful. People don't want to hear any truth. They want to hear the lie. It's more comfortable to pretend something's not there. You
So
see,
let me ask you
it's
about no, I want to stop right there. Could you bring that up? And you're absolutely right. What is that? Because if your mother brought you up, the truth will make you free. Why does everybody hate it?
because the truth makes you have to hold yourself accountable. Number one, a lot of people, it takes a certain amount of courage to hold yourself accountable. When you say, hey, you know what, that was on me. Okay, I screwed up. I shouldn't have got with that chick the other night, or I shouldn't have got with that dude. I shouldn't have, let that guy just run up in me like that. Whatever the case is, I'm just saying we have to hold ourselves accountable to a higher standard. Everybody makes mistakes, okay, but we have to learn from our mistakes and hold ourselves accountable. And that is a sign of maturity, and that's a sign of just being responsible, and that's just you know tapping into your higher self. Now, a lot of people don't want to accept accountability and responsibility. They like to blame somebody else. They like that. Okay. And so it's easier to blame somebody because then they can say, hey, it's not my fault. It's not. So I guess that my take on that.
So you were the other day you were telling me about um, something you were told about not being out by yourself.
Yes, yes, yes. So check this out. So, like I said, I'm in the New Mexico area right now, and apparently, here's listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to tie into what I'm about to go into. Uh, Back about 20 years ago, I was in Brazil. I was in Rio de Janeiro, and in places like Rio de Janeiro, you couldn't go out at night. It's very dangerous. I mean, you could get kidnapped. You could get, it was just like bad news. You couldn't go out at night. In fact, if you were in the city, the signal lights would flash red because you couldn't even stop at a signal light because somebody would run up on you, shoot you, whatever else. So this was in Rio, and this was 20 years ago. All right. Uh, let's take a look. I have a lot of friends from Mexico that moved here from Mexico, right? Listen to this, and this is going to tie into what we're going into. They told me they left Mexico and they're here because at nighttime, when it's in a lot of places in Mexico, they cannot go outside. If they go outside, they'll either get killed, kidnapped, or the so-called federales will beat them like 20 times with bats with spikes in them. I'm not making this up. I've been told this by multiple Mexican folks that moved here. So I'm bringing this up because let's talk about right now here in America and hear what I'm seeing right now. I'm at places like New Mexico. So here in Albuquerque, for example, at least, you know, you have places where you have to be careful. You can't just walk around at night anymore because, whether it's cartels, anything else. So here I am talking about stuff from 20 years ago. and in other countries, Brazil, Mexico, and now it's happening here, right here in the United States of America, whether whatever city you are. Now we're dealing with that so-called quote unquote third world stuff happening right here. And so pretty soon, whether it's this so-called April 8th or so-called concocted civil war, so-called federal government collapse, they're going to have it to where you can't go out at night because it's going to be chaos. And so we all have to be aware of that. I mean, I got a sneak preview of it being in other countries, and I've heard from people from other countries say the same thing. And here we are, and I'm starting to see some of the same stuff now. So, take that for what it's worth. So that's my take on that.
So where you are now, is it like that where you are now?
Uh, just what I've noticed is just it's kind of like a lot of increased police presence. And not just here, but a lot of the big cities. The subways, the trains, the buses. The police are increasing their presence. I don't know if that's happening in your local town, wherever you are, but they're increasing their presence. Because they're expecting something or they're gearing up for something, whether it's April 8th or whatever else. These dates don't mean squat to me, frankly.
Right.
Whether there's a so-called Gregorian calendar, Julian calendar, these measurements of time, whatever. That's neither here nor there. The point is, they're out of time. And if those of us who choose to go along with this cockroach system and choose to embrace it and just love it, it's going to get pretty ugly. It's gonna,
So instead of doing all that stuff, what are some of the precautions people should take in your view, in your point of view?
well, my cause, asking me on that, I just think that we just have to, we're entering a time where, the world and this country we know is going to change where, things that we take for granted, we're not going to be able to do anymore, whether it's going certain places by ourselves, going out at night, just because you want to get something to eat or something like that, we have to think twice because it's getting wild out here. We got all these demonic cockroaches running around looking for souls to devour, all that kind of stuff. And so, I mean, like I said in the previous thing, just we're only in March so far, and I've had some incidents. I've been attacked. Man,
Right.
that's another story, another time. But basically, we're dealing with some real crazy, insane characters out here, and they don't care about themselves. They care about you or I. So we all have to be kind of aware to prepare. You know, but that's
What do you look forward to in the coming days and weeks? What are you seeing on the horizon?
that's a great question. Frankly, as far as I just try to just do the best I can with what I have and just prepare myself because no matter where we are, we're gonna all face some type of test in some form. So you know, it's, um, all we could do is just kind of, in a sense, be spiritually prepared and not let that fear or whatever get to you, and just realize that they're on their way out, and just stay positive because that thought creates our immediate reality. You know, I mean, I've had miracles happen just in my daily life every day, and I'm grateful for them. So, things are going to work out, but it's not going to be the proverbial peaches and cream, and you know that's just my take as far as what.
Well, J Bach, I really appreciate you spending this half hour with me, spending it with my audience, giving them some tidbits and some food for thought. I really appreciate your time.
Hey, I appreciate your time, each and every one of you listening. And just hang in there like a tea bag. No matter what these cockroaches try to do, they're going to get squashed. So they don't matter. They're going to run into cracks and try to hide, but they're done. And I'll leave
Cool.
it at that.
All right, brother. Well, I'm gonna call you in a minute.
All right, big salute to everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Cool. So, I bring you brothers like J Bach and some other cats because I'm like a lot of cats I know they're not in the mainstream. They're on the outstream. They've been in the mainstream and realized that that's not where they want to be. So I try to bring these type people on so they can share their experiences with you, and I hope you can use it for whatever, you may use it like he was saying, the things that are being shown now and things that are being, flashed across the screen and stuff. It's just for to get your attention off of yourself. It's a distraction. Focus on you. Focus on your family. Focus on your in-laws, your loved ones, your kith, your cousins, your uncles, your aunt, because that all those people I just named, that's a group that's attached to you. And that group of people can do some off the wall stuff. So stay focused. Later for the distractions. Don't become part of the matrix. And I'm sure by now all of us know what the matrix is. Focus on yourself. To say we're moving in, hey, spring is here. Listen, all these butterflies and bees and birds, all of these uh, gifts of Mother Nature, you used to have a connection with them. You used to speak to them. You can do the same thing now. This is a part of ourselves that we've gotten away from. When we became Black and when we became African American, we lost our connection to earth, to nature. We're not even into it no more. Matter of fact, a person will get laughed, mocked, big time. We're not even into it. Scared of water. Scared of water. Bees come around, we jump out of our skin. They're not here to attack you. These birds are talking to you when you walk outside. We ignore it. We refuse to be a part of nature. Refuse. So that's a power that you have right at your fingertips. Use it. Make your sight better, your hearing better. And like J Bach was saying, ground yourself. You're a part of this earth. You're made up of all the elements on the earth. You don't check your blood against the part of the earth that you landed at. You don't do it. You're not into that. Oh, we're not into that. There are sciences that we were doing way before what you got now became current. Ask any woman who's had a baby who told her she was pregnant. The thinking ones will tell you the baby told her she was pregnant. The baby let her know she was pregnant. And so this is what I'm saying. You looking at yourself by certain days and stuff when you was already happening months before you were even birthed. These are the type of things we're not into. We don't believe in. These are your sciences. And refuse to even spend 5 minutes on the subject. That's the African American, right? The African American the Black people were created by other people. Other people control them, their every thought. Somebody made you to control you, and you can only do what the people who made you tell you to do. It's simple. That's why you never see, what you call Black and African American do something on their own as a group. Everybody's getting the shit kicked out of them, and we won't even think of a way to get out of it. And you have the earth on your side. You have the earth on your side. Water flows for you. To ignore it. So you can do that. Like I say, we're moving into a new season now. It's about to be spring. Those of you who need help with your gardens, your farms, here go a field hand right here. I love doing that type stuff. If you're in Alabama, let me know. Beautiful days are ahead. Those ideas that you had, those ideas that you were thinking of in the winter, go ahead and put them out there and watch them grow. They'll grow. You just got to put some work into it. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and let you guys go out and start coloring your Easter eggs. And we'll see you real soon. Peace.